everyone, I'm hoping you're having a good day. Everyone knows that sweet potatoes do really well in containers. But do you know that there are 5 things that you should look into before planting your sweet potatoes in the container? Hi, this is from Urban Jungle, and today I will tell you the 5 things that you should avoid while planting your sweet potatoes in the container. Mistake number 1, wrong propagation method. For any plant to grow, you need to know how to propagate it. Did you know sweet potatoes have a top and a bottom? Well, now you do. The pointy end is the top and the blunt end is the bottom. If you are to propagate this by growing slips, then you have to ensure that the bottom is sitting in water. For your convenience, click on the link above to know how to grow sweet potato slips. To resolve this issue and for your understanding, I have grown a sweet potato upside down. That is, the pointy end is sitting in water. As you can see, the potato has started to rot, although it is growing slips from inside the water. You also have to change this water frequently, say every alternate day. If you do not change the water, it will start to rot again. Mistake number 2, wrong potting mix. Sweet potato is generally not very fussy about the type of soil that it chooses to grow on. But if you plan to grow it in a container, then you have to amend your soil. As a rule of thumb, remember that no tuber likes soggy soil. For planting sweet potato, you need to have 50% garden soil, 25% manure and 25% sand. The reason I use sand is because I wanted to amend my soil. My garden soil is clay in nature. It can retain a lot of water. Generally, it is a good sign, but for tubers, like I mentioned earlier, you do not need soggy soil. Therefore, do not plant your sweet potato slips in wet soil. Always ensure that the soil is loose. Adding sand and manure not only loosens the soil, but it also helps in proper drainage. Let's talk about fertilizers now. Do not over fertilize your sweet potatoes because an excess of nitrogen will result in foliage and no tuber. Therefore, I use cow manure, which comes packed with all the required nutrients. Additionally, you can also use compost in place of cow manure. The third mistake that you might make is choosing the wrong container. In order to select a container, one first have to understand the type of root structure the plant has. Since we are going to grow a tuber, we will have to try and mimic the kind of structure the plant would grow on in its natural habitat. Since sweet potatoes are creepers in nature, therefore they grow roots from the leaf nodes or stems as they creep along the ground. Therefore, it is very essential to grow them in a wide mouth and deep container. Generally, plastic tubs, thermocol boxes, large poly bags with a depth of more than 1 or 2 feet will suffice. Another mistake that you might make is growing them in the wrong season. I live in India, whose climate is subtropical in nature. So here, you can start growing your slips in the month of January, and by mid-February, they'll be ready for planting. And after about 90 to 170 days, you can start harvesting it. Their sweet potatoes are generally grown best in tropical and subtropical regions. It is a heat-loving plant and it hates frost. So I grow it in summers. And in the summer month, we get plenty of rain and heat. Another mistake that most container gardeners make is that they plant a lot of slips together in one container. As a result, your harvest will diminish and you will end up with a lot of roots and no tubers. And even if you get tubers, they will not be good enough for eating. So, if the mouth of your container is 12 inches, then as a rule of thumb, plant 2 slips. Overcrowding will not yield a good result.
Hey guys! If you like my video, do like, share and subscribe to my channel, Urban Jungle. Thank you!